Hi, this is a take two. I'm Janet Raftis. I'm a master energy healer and intuitive development teacher, and I am here today to talk to you about animal spirits. Almost every Tuesday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern, I do a Facebook Live where I address different topics. Mercini, thank you for coming back. I had a few technical difficulties. So I wanted to talk about animal spirits. Animal spirits are like other spiritual celestial beings that are around to help us. So it's similar to working with angels or ascended masters, fairies. Really what it is understanding the energetic vibration of a certain animal spirit, and each animal spirit will come through as sort of like the spiritual vibration of that particular animal. And so for example, if your spirit animal is and I see Bailey, she shared that she has ladybug. If your spirit animal is a ladybug, then there will be certain connections that you have to that being. Like you may feel very drawn to it. You may love the way it looks. You may love the way it acts. You will also probably be very spiritually aligned with the messages of that spirit animal. So for example, one of my spirit animals is a deer, and I didn't know that I would be doing all the things that I'm doing today when I found out that my spirit animal is a deer. But deer is like the perfect spirit animal, or one of the perfect spirit animals for somebody doing the work that I do. It's very nurturing, loving. It's a teacher. It's about intuitive, like trusting your intuition, going on journeys within healing. So it definitely resonates with me. I see Lisa saying that hers is a hawk. So it's like you get these, a lot of times you may have a knowingness. It could be an animal that you are really connected to. I've had, a lot of sessions where I'll say to someone, the animal that's coming through as your spirit animal is, an owl or a rabbit or whatever, and the person will say, oh my God, I love owls. I have owls all over my house. I collect owls, or something like that. Or they'll feel the connection that they have with that animal when they're out in nature. So know that if you're feeling a pull to an animal, then you have some sort of spiritual connection to it. We might have, one primary spirit animal that works with us a lot. We may have more than one. And in addition to that, we'll have spirit animals that come in and out of our lives. And sometimes one will come with us to help us get through a certain time. So let's say if you're going through a really hard time and you really need to assert yourself, maybe you need to set some boundaries, then you might call in one of the cat energies to be with you, right? So you could call in lion or panther or even house cat energy, because the energy of the lion or any of the big cats, or any of the cats, period, sorry, is about, it's about self-care and self-nurturing, and also about upholding boundaries. And then if you want to add in like courage, you might add in the lions. You could call in the energy of the lion to support you. You could meditate with that spiritual being, just like you would with an angel or a goddess. And you can really draw on the strength of that spiritual connection to support you. And in that, you can get messages from the lion as well. You can connect with the energy of the lion, and you can ask the lion to send you messages. So that might be something that you pull in, even if your spirit animal is normally a hawk, right? But maybe for something that you're going through, you want a little extra support. Also, I've seen a lot of times where the messages of animals come in to give us specific messages, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're with us, but if you start seeing the same animal all the time. So a really great example of this was from one of mine and Alicia Miller's retreats in Costa Rica. We had, vultures all around us the whole time, and it was a very deep emotional healing retreat. And at the very end of the retreat, towards the end of it, when we were doing some integration work, this huge vulture like flew in and landed on this branch right outside where we all were, and just spread its arms out and did this little dance in a circle around us. And vulture is all about, like, digging through that which no longer serves you so that you can regenerate it, so that you can bring new life in. So it's taking the old, the decaying, and turning it into new life. So you can start to see if you're getting, like, you're seeing the same animal all the time. Like, I've been seeing peacocks. Like, I've seen everything peacock for like the last 2.5 or 3 weeks. So there is, a reason that energy is coming and being with me. A lot of peacock energy is about laughter and joy and using your intuition. So this is about, I've been working really hard and I've been feeling that pull to make sure that I'm balancing my work life with my fun life. And, so I'm seeing it as an opportunity for me to step into something else. Let's step into a new connection and to use that guidance to help me along the way. Sophia says, yes. So Sophia, it was incredible. And when you're working with them, so there's so many different ways to work with them. One is that that you have an animal spirit guide. Everybody does, that I've seen. Everybody has at least one, sometimes more than one. So you can tune in and you can ask that energy to be, to really make itself known to you. You can meditate and tune into it. You can ask it to share signs with you in the outside world. There is also, you could tune into the environment, to what are the different signs that are coming to you that you're seeing, and then you could spend time with that. So if you are seeing, butterflies everywhere, and you're like, oh my God, there are butterflies everywhere, you could take a moment to kind of tune in and use your intuition to let you know, like, what is it that I'm seeing here? And just take a few minutes maybe to journal and to ask for guidance around it and get what you get. I think it's always really good to check with your own intuition before you look anything up. But then you could look it up and see what else is there for you and maybe what that message is for you. So if you're tuning into it and you're like, oh man, it's so colorful, it's so vibrant, I feel like it's about self-expression, then that would absolutely be one of your messages from the butterfly. But and then you look it up and you get the further meaning of its transformation, and then you're like, oh my God, I am going through a really challenging time, but it does feel transformative, then that can be seen as like a message of hope and help to help you along the way. Awesome. Anne says she's going to start asking. That's great. I think it's such a, working with animal spirits is just one of the funnest things, because we get to work with them in two different ways. You get to work with it in the physical world, and you get to work with it in the spiritual world. And chances are, like Anne, I'm guessing, Anne, that you have been seeing a lot of stuff around you and been getting these messages. And so now this is like this new way, like, oh, I can actually work more fully with it. When you do start working more fully with it, you are going to notice that it will be enhanced, just like with anything that you work with in the intuitive realm. So if you start paying attention to goddesses, you'll get more information about goddesses. Or if you start paying more attention to angels, you'll get more angels from the messages from the angelic realm. So with the animal spirit realm, it is the exact same way. So Lisa says, when I see a hawk, I know I'm being protected, especially on a road trip. Yes, I've been meditating on the hawk family. Now I have a huge hawk family living in the trees behind my house. That is so amazing. And I can't see all of the rest of the comment, Lisa, I'll look later, but that's a great example of how she started really working with the hawk energy, and she pulled it in even more. And that is what I've noticed, is that when I'm really working with the animal spirits, they show up for me. It's really cool. I get a lot of nudges from them. So I wanted to share with you too that there's another way of working with animal spirits, and that is to work with oracle cards. And I think this is, especially if you're just starting with oracle cards, or if you're just starting working with your intuition, if all of this is kind of new for you, oracle cards can be a great way to tap into this and start working with it. And then you can allow it to go from there. So if you pull an oracle card, then you could meditate on why is that animal with you, and then you could start to notice it around you as well. I was going to show you my favorite oracle animal spirit deck is this one by The Wild Unknown. The cards are beautiful, and it's a really great deck to work with. It's got wonderful energy. lots of beautiful artwork, and the explanations are really great as well. And just like I said with, you know, tuning into what your intuition tells you first, you could also, you could do that, and then you could look in the book, or then you could go to Google even as well, because sometimes you might read something in an oracle card book and you'll be like, that doesn't really resonate. So if that happens, and this goes for any deck, any oracle or tarot deck, if you get that experience, know that maybe the meaning is something different for you, and that's when you can do your own tune in around it, or when you can take your research elsewhere. So I was going to pull a card for you guys from this deck and see. So know that if you're watching this now, or if you're tuning in later, there is a message for you in this particular animal that I pull. So it'll be a little group mini reading for you all. And I'm hold to this one right here, which is crocodile. So I remember the first time I felt crocodile energy with me, I was like, crocodile. But crocodile energy is a really amazing primal energy. Crocodile is very connected to the earth energies. It's very ancient and it's very wise. So there's something here for all of us about connecting into that sort of primal mother earth essence and really connecting in. And then I would encourage you all as well to take a few moments on your own to ask yourself why that might be coming up for you. I was gonna look at, I can't read all of the comments. So if you have a question, I would love to answer it. And I'll just open up for that right now. And also if you have, just something that you want to share about working with these beautiful spirits. Okay, so I'm not seeing any. If you are interested in developing this aspect of your spiritual connection more fully, I am going to be doing, Scott and I are doing another retreat in July outside of Asheville. And this retreat is it's an Energy Explorers retreat, but we're going to be really focused on the natural world. So animal spirits will be a big part of that, as well as working with other aspects of nature. Melissa's asking, any idea what carpenter bee means? So bee energy tends to have something to do with working together, organization, and also with community. Carpenter bee specifically bores into things. So I feel like there's a message here for you of going deeper and getting into the core aspect of something. So can you talk about, Monique asks, can you talk about how you work with animals in your healings? Do you call them in or just work with their energy as they show up? Monique, I actually do both of those. So sometimes it'll just be there. It's like, whoa, there's this, the other day I had a session with a woman and an owl was with her, and it just opened up its arms or its wings, and I could just see this owl behind her. So that one just came in. Now, sometimes if I want to work on something very specific, I might call in the energy. So for example, if I'm doing solar plexus work and we are working with assertiveness and standing up for oneself, then I might call in the energy of the lion to support the session. And also I had the thought to share with you guys that when you are doing so Melissa asked about the carpenter bee, and what I did is I used my intuition, but I'm also going into how does that carpenter bee, how does it live? How is it, what are its qualities, characteristics, right? So you do that, and then you let your intuition fill in kind of where that is coming from with you, if that makes sense. That was a great question, Melissa, thank you. I do believe animals show up for us because they have no restrictions, while we as humans sometimes do. Yes, you are absolutely right about that, Sophia, totally. And then you're so welcome, thank you. It is, it's like, this is the thing, is that spirit is always talking to us, always. Spirit will, use any form of communication to get our attention. And so, especially for some of us who are really connected to the animal kingdom, working with spirit animals is a really beautiful way to feel connected to spirit. And it might, for some of us, even feel easier to be connected with spirit in that way than it is, going, to God or to angels or to whatever. So, when you're working with your intuition, when you're working with your spiritual connection, ask yourself, like, what does feel good to me? What do I feel aligned to? If you love animals, and working with spirit animals will be a really great way for you to nurture your connection to the animal kingdom and to nature herself, and also your connection to the divine. It's a win-win-win. So let me see if anyone else has any other questions, and if not, I will wrap it up. I love talking about spirit animals, and so I am so grateful for the opportunity to do this with you all, and I want to thank you guys all for being here. As always, if you have other questions or things that you want to know about, please let me know. I'm happy to address them, and I am sending you all much love, and I'll see you next week. Bye.